Okay, so now we're going to talk about establishing emotional safety, right? We want to talk about feeling emotionally safe, creating and maintaining safe spaces, freedom to heal without external pressure or influence. Ah, listen, healing requires an emotional safe space. I talk about safe spaces all the time. Everybody's safe space looks different, right? Maybe your safe space is musical. Maybe your safe space is theater. Maybe your safe space is the gym. Maybe your safe space is yoga. Maybe your safe space is a community of women who support you. Maybe your safe space is a community of men who support you. Maybe your safe space is church. Your safe space could be in a space with a mentor. Your safe space could be at therapy. You see how many different safe spaces that we can have in this world. One where you can process your emotions without judgment, guilt, or pressure. Boundaries play a fundamental role in creating and maintaining this safe space by controlling who has access to your emotions and how they interact with you. Safe spaces to me are places where you are allowed to put the mask down and feel your emotions wherever you are at that moment. Safe spaces are not a place where you lash out at the people who support you. That is not safe space because remember, a safe and sacred space is for all the people there, right? Where you can feel your emotions and be validated in your emotions because your emotions count, your feelings count, they're valid. However, the toxic way that some of us release our emotional trauma is that we attack the people around us so viciously and then we expect them to accept us back because we're friends or because we are a community, and that's not fair to anybody. So you still have to really learn how to be more intentional with the people who have given you the grace of a safe space, but also understand that in that safe space, they are also healing. So this is something I want us to really pay attention to. When you set emotional boundaries, you give yourself the freedom to heal without external pressure or influence. This might involve reducing contact with individuals who trigger you, who trigger negative emotions, avoid toxic conversations, or videos, or TV, or radio, or songs, or work environment, maybe family get-togethers and parties, cookouts, and or picnics. Yes. So what we're gonna do, right? And you want to prioritize self-care over everybody else's expectation, right? Because when you go through an emotional trauma, a lot of us were force-fed toxic positivity. Oh, you're gonna get over it. It's not really that bad. All you have to do is get dressed up and go to a party. Look, you just work, just dig into work. I need you to dig into work and it'll get better. Go back and get a degree. Girl, you gonna show him, get that new car. Why are we going into debt to heal? I need to heal. I want to make a rational decision about my financial future, and I don't want my financial um celebrations or my promotion celebration. I don't my promotional celebration. I don't want my level up to be attached to the trauma. I want my level up to be attached to my healing, right? And that's not always the case. Sometimes you just you find clarity in getting out of negative relationships, and that is great, but I really want us to think about what it would feel like to look back at that next level up, to look back at that next promotion, to look back at that next entrepreneurial venture, to look back at that degree, to look back at that master's, to look back at that new house, to look back at that new car, to look back at that new relationship through a healed lens, to look back at the celebration of self through a healed lens versus the come up from devastation. And we all have different ways of handling and coping with trauma, but just understanding that when you start to work on yourself and you are on this healing journey, which again, like I said, I would not wear high heels. I wear support sneakers, comfy socks. Yes, I will. Because you're going to be walking. You might want to put on some knee pads, some elbow pads, maybe a face mask. Because you're going to be falling. You're going to be crying. You don't want people seeing all them tears like that until you make it to your safe space. Because healing is up, down, side to side. It's that jump on it, jump on it. You know how you like din 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 din. Every time it hit one of those din din din, that's your emotions flipping back and forth, jumping up and down, acting all crazy because we're trying to figure it out. And you may heal one part of you, and then one little thing within that healing journey will trigger a new thing. And you're constantly healing until you are no longer here, until your spirit passes on. We're all going to continue to grow. That's what mental health is learning how to cope with the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, right? And one of the best things that you can do for yourself is really set yourself free to heal without external pressures or influences. It's such a revolutionary way to think about things. So if you find social media triggering after a breakup or betrayal, baby, I listen to nothing but gospel music when I went through infidelity because I didn't want to hear about love. Okay. And I really kind of stuck with Kurt Franklin, the Clark sisters, Kiara, Kiara Shard, what's her name? Kiara Sherritt. I think maybe that's her name. Mary. And I was like in there, right? The wall group. Like I kind of stayed in that little pocket because in CC Whining, because CC Whining she was getting me closer to my spiritual self, right? Just through vocals. She touched me right here. Because when she said, joyful, joyful, Lord, we adore thee. And a little music came on, I was like, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, girl. She was like, just keep listening to this song. Right? Because you are really working on just muting negative, toxic people, places, things, accounts. You're going to have to unfollow some people, hide some people, mute some accounts until you start getting yourself closer to where you want to be in your healing process. I can listen to everything now, but I remember there was a time when my kids was like, if you turn Kirk Franklin on one more damn time, I was like, don't you talk about Kirk like that. He said, imagine me loving what I see when I living exactly cause I imagine me. I said, imagine me not crying all the time because it was a time, y'all. It was a 10. I hope you guys are good. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.